Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to discuss about John Keats' theory of negative capability. As I've already discussed about John Keats, his writing style, his poems as well, Ode to Nightingale and Ode to Grecian Anne. So he employed negative capability in both of these poems, and his theory of negative capability is very important from exam point of view as well. And you will be asked how kids use negative capability in these poems, right? So his major themes in his work include transience of life, means mortality of life, right? Inevitability of death, right? Hellenism, and getting lost in ideal world, that is escapism, and his negative capability, right? So we will see how he just used negative capability in that poem, right? In many of his poems the speaker leaves the real world to explore a mythical and aesthetic realm and returns at the end with a better understanding. So negative capability, what it is? So it is the ability to get lost in a reverie. It is, yes, it is like escapism, getting lost in a reverie, right? And to live the conscious life or imaginative life, without wondering about rationality, is key concept of negative capability. Or simply, in simple words, you can say that you just accept the things, right, without using rational or reasoning. Just you accept something for the sake of art for art's sake. Aesthetic moment, you might heard about that, right? Which emphasize on art for art's sake. So you have to accept it for the sake of art, whereas the rationality and reasoning and the logics tell you that it is impossible. So we will discuss with reference to Keats' poem as well, right? The poet give up his personal identity to focus on object being described. Focus on object, yes, as major theme of romantic poetry, right? Glorification of commonplace object. So the feelings, yes, they are identified to focused on objects. So as we see in Ode to Nightingale and Ode to Grecian Anne, or Don Grecian Anne. So in these both poems we will see focus on objects, right? And the objects become the symbolic of intense emotions. Obviously the poet deliver his intense emotions through these objects, and the objects become symbolic of these intense emotions, right? And Keats rejected the artist attempt to analyze rationale, right, and categorize the world to pass judgment. Rationality, there is no rationality, logics, or reasoning in negative capability, and you just accept an art, right, for the sake of art only. So it is described as aesthetic objectivity. Why aesthetics? That deals with the beauty. And so Keats' theory of negative capability is concerned with particular state of poetic receptivity that makes literary creation possible. And further, uh, negative capability, that is when a man is capable of being in uncertainties, in mysteries, doubts, without irritable reaching after a fact or reason. With a great poet, the sense of beauty overcomes every other consideration, right? And so therefore Keats theory breakdown, we can break down Keats theory of negative capability into these points, right? And you can say these points are the crux of his negative capability. The first thing is imagination, poetic imagination, which is very important. So imagination communicates an intense emotion, and the poet give a personal identity. And second one is focus on object being described. First one is imagination, second is focus on object, and third one is, as a result, the object becomes symbolic of this intense emotion, and all other matters not important to this emotion. And the poems, and we will see in the poem Ode on a Grecian and these last lines: beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know, ought to know, right? So the poems beauty, truth are the combination of poetic image, emotions, and perceived objects. So negative capability is used there, and the poem thus is a subjective truth, right? So yes, in autogrecian, the object that speaks a truth and beauty, that the truth and beauty, they are understood by negative capability of artist, art for art's sake, right? We accept that beauty is truth, truth is beauty. We have to accept it, and we need to know is that, right? With irrespect of any reason or logic. And the unmessage of beauty and truth is open-ended, and it is mysterious. We do not need to further investigate or just get into why beauty is truth. Just we have to accept it, that beauty is truth, truth is beauty. That are one thing for kids, that are one thing. And further, I will discuss with a different reference, right? Keats' theory of negative capability, right? I make personal notes on that topic because it is very important topic uh, for exam point of view as well. Keats' theory of negative capability. So we will try to look at this topic with a different perspective as well, right? So uh, let's see Keats' theory of negative capability, right? This negative capability, it was introduced or coined by John Keats, right? It means being in uncertainty, mystery, doubt, right? And it implies to resist explaining away what we do not understand, rather combining an immediate conclusion about an event, idea, or person, and advice resting in doubt, and continue to pay attention and probe in order to understand what it means. And we will see examples of negative capability out on a Grecian urn, right? So the lines, as I have already discussed, that beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye know on earth, and all need to know, right? The narrator has one-sided conversation with the inanimate art, leaving open-ended question, right? And Ode to Nightingale, we will discuss the lines as well. This is about artists' access to truth without the pressure and framework of logic and science. And I will discuss the specific lines, right? Here they are. Let me. Yes, the art of Nightingale is endlessly changeable and renewable, and it is music without regard, or exist only in perpetual present. And Keats says that beauty and truth, they are one thing, they cannot be separated, right? And in Ode to Nightingale, in stanza 4, he writes that the poet want to escape into the world of Nightingale through his poetry, right? where he writes that wingless wings of poetry far far away, right, far far away, he want to go with nightingale, using what, using wingless wings of poesy. So according to rationale or logics, it is not possible, right? But for the sake of art, we have to accept it. And poet wished to fly or imaginatively transport himself to nightingale using wingless wings of poesy. Poesy means poetry, right? Allowing poesy or poetry the imagination, poetic imagination power to carry out this task, keeping sight his rationale. So these are the examples you can quote from his poems, examples of negative capability. I hope you get the idea. Thank you for watching.